Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragoon X Omega II. In this episode we will be completing the side quest. We're starting back here at the Marsh Temple. As you can see, I've done some level grinding. I grinded outside of Sansia to level 20. That allowed me to afford the outwarp and the shield spell in Isenfort, and basically get high enough level to actually be able to cast one charge of them. So I'm going to use the outwarp spell here once we get the watch here in the Marsh Temple. I didn't get it the first time I went through here because I wanted to show off the different dialogue of the people in the trading sequence, but now we've run into everybody who we need in the trading sequence, so we'll get their trading dialogue now. So we're going to head to this intersection where there's a piece of the floor jutting out, follow it. We end up getting this watch, an ancient timepiece. An ancient relic used to keep time. And remember there was that one guy, Tao, who lived in Pergador, who liked ancient things. We're going to be taking the watch over to him, and he is going to reward us with something else. So, we gotta backtrack all the way to Pergador. Yeah, that outwarp spell was nice. Just saw what it did there. It basically just takes us out of the dungeon. It's basically the exit spell from Final Fantasy I. Too bad there ain't no return spell like in Dragon Warrior, because that would really help with all the backtracking we're going to be doing in this episode. I'm actually going to be heading back to the south of the Marsh Temple. I bet you're going to get some lockpicks in the trading sequence, and they're going to have to be used to open a door back in Sai's castle. Head up this way, head to Pergador, and Tao is to the right as soon as we get up onto the first level here. We talk with him. Say there, what do you have there? It's an ancient timepiece, and it still works. Would you trade it for this water purifier? And we do, and that makes even the foulest of water fit for drinking. And he's really fascinated with this piece. This thing is great. Tick, 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 tock. Now we can take the water purifier to Sansia. Sansia was the last town we were at, so where we did all our level grinding. I did it there because, well, the monsters are the toughest there, they give the best experience, and we don't have to worry about running into any of those Pharaoh's enemies around Isenfort. So, we're still not really tough enough to take them on. So we head back through the Great Divide here. And like I said, we're gonna head to Sansia for the next trade. And there's the guy, Tin there, who was mentioning about how the water's bad. So we're gonna give the water purifier to him, and then he's going to basically tell us to talk with his father, who is in the same house. And we've learned that the father used to be a burglar. He's going to reward us with some lockpicks. Lockpicks will basically allow us to open some old doors that we weren't able to get in previously. So one of the ones that we're going to be skipping, though, is we don't want to head back to Edengard, which was south of the Varian's lair. It's the second town we were at, because even though there's a locked door there that we can go into, if we go in there, there's an NPC in there, and talking with that NPC brings up a battle with like a bonus boss, and she's really, really tough, so we won't actually be fighting her until actually after we beat the game. So, alright, let's head to the tunnel to Isenfort. And yeah, we found Skiffles there. Surprisingly, when we go back to that first town where Skiffles is apparently from, no one says anything different, although there is one change in dialogue. I didn't show off, but I'll show it off later on. I'm going back there anyway. After we beat Tyrus the first time in the Marsh Temple, one of the ladies there who talked about Skiffles says, basically, like, thanks us for avenging the mayor of the place, who was Skiffles' father. So let's head back to Sansia here. I went a little too far to the west, but that's okay. House on the left here. A water purifier. We can finally have clean drinking water again. And then he tells us to talk with his father in the back. What can I pay with? Oh, take this set of lockpicks. He was a little crazy in his youth. He was a little cat burglar. And now everyone is back to normal. And the people of Sansia will never forget us. Let's heal ourselves up here. Saves our game too, because we still got some more backtracking, and there's still one of those Pharaohs monsters that can take us out, so better safe than sorry. Now we're going to use those lockpicks all the way back in two places. Hylas Castle, the first place we were at where we started the game, and then also Size Castle. In Isenfort, the town we're about to pass, when we get through this tunnel. Remember there was that girl there, Anna, who has bronchitis and needs some antibiotics. The antibiotics we're going to find in Size Castle, and we're going to get 10,000 Olga back in Hylas Castle. Once again, more backtracking. Like I said, too bad we don't have that return spell from Dragon Warrior. Or an airship in this game. We get those like rail jets later on, but they're not like the airship like in Final Fantasy that you can go anywhere with. They only link to certain sections of the game. People said if they use the Game Genie code or an Action Replay code on this game, like to walk through walls and boundaries, if you get out of bounds in this game on the overworld, it actually will take you out to the overworld in Final Fantasy 1. So they just must have taken a section of the world and built on it, and the rest, you know, that was left unhacked. So obviously that's why they couldn't give you an airship, or else you could just fly to a different part of the world and be in a different game. So this game is much shorter than Final Fantasy. We're about halfway done, I'd say. About halfway done our backtracking here. Going through the Great Divide again. So, head back this way. Luckily when I go back and fight that, there's an optional boss that we can fight in that Eden Guard. That'll be just in the bonus episode, and I'll just start right outside Eden Guard. That Eden Guard, the town to the north of that Min Bridge there. So we're heading all the way back here. Speaking of bridges, once again, too bad the bridge to Size Castle is out. We can avoid all this backtracking through the swamp. But before we head to Size Castle, let's just head to Hylas Castle here, Hylas Keep, and get that 10,000 Olga in the back. This is why it's important to keep notes of places you couldn't go, because way back here at the beginning of the game, luckily it's not like an important treasure. It's not gonna, you know, break the game if you miss this, but like I said, I'm going for 100%. So once you have the lockpicks, any door that's locked, you can just walk right through it. We did right there, got that 10,000 Olga. And then now we're going to head to Size Castle to get the antibiotics. There's an unlockable door in Anna's house. I mentioned about people who did like an Action Replay or Game Genie code to be able to walk out of bounds. There's a treasure chest in Anna's house that you can't reach. But apparently somebody used the code to see what's in there. It's just a dart gun. So here's the person who I mentioned their dialogue changed. All they basically say is like, oh, you defeated Tyrus? Well, you know, the Elder's been avenged. No more mention about Skiffles. So, poor Skiffles. He did all that work and got nowhere. didn't get to complete his mission, and they don't even remember it changes anyone's dialogue in the place where he was living. So much, one of the interesting things about coming back after you're so much more powerful. We're at level like 21 here now. I actually gained a level doing all this backtracking. So I'm basically twice as strong as I was. Well, more than twice as strong. I'm level 21. And levels ain't necessarily like linear. But just like going back here and fighting these enemies, they're just so easy now. Although those cyanides were still able to poison you, so. But yeah, like I said, I have plenty of antis to go around. So now we got the antibiotics from Size Castle. We saw the lockpicks there where they basically can open any standard door. And now the antibiotics. Take them back to Anna. And Anna, her father, will end up giving us anti-radiation pills. In Isenfort, the same town that Anna's in, we were told about there's that one nuclear plant that there was an explosion there, the reactor went. That's the bonus dungeon in the game. So it's like the desert tower in the Mirage Tower in Final Fantasy 1, where you can't enter it unless you have the chime. In this game, we can't enter that bonus dungeon unless we have the anti-radiation pills. And Anna, his father, is, like I said, going to give us those anti-radiation pills. Although you don't really, like I say, you don't want to go to the bonus dungeon until much, much later in the game. The enemies there are just so strong. But I think they purposely made them so strong because once you, if you finish the bonus dungeon, you end up getting, like I said, the best armor and best rifle in the game. And the enemies, they just, they fall so easily. It's like these enemies that were like so tough, they're almost like boss encounters themselves. They just, you know, become so easy. That's basically where I'll grind up to my final levels. Grinding is actually going to be pretty hard once you get to about level 30, because level 30 is about the level that you can beat the game at. Around level 30 though, most enemies are going to start basically running away from you. But luckily there's one place where enemies won't run away from you. Unfortunately, those enemies aren't really the greatest source of experience, but because they'll never run from you, it's still probably the best place to get experience. And that place is actually going to be that secret area where we got the good armor and where Skiffles we found his body. Those render enemies, they won't run from you. So we'll actually do a little bit of grinding there later on. And that's where we'll also be able to get the other two treasure chests in that hidden area. There's another accessory and some more money. But first, let's get the anti-radiation pills from Anna's father. Talk with Anna. Cough. Oh, I'm starting to feel better already. Are you an angel? When I grow up, I'm going to marry you, Sargon. Sargon, you saved Anna's life. Please take these anti-radiation pills as thanks. And her father thanks us and saving his daughter, the only thing that matters in his life. So as you can see, those prevent anti-radiation pills. So this is the door that opens, but you can't reach that treasure chest over on the side there. But like I said, somebody did it like with a cheat code, Game Genie Action Replay, and it's just a dart gun, which is the first gun that you got in the game back in Hylas Keep. So yeah, back there in that secret passage, we'll do some level grinding later on. We're going to get a gun later, the pulse gun, which does extra damage to mechanical enemies, and those render enemies are robots. So we'll get that gun and be able to do some grinding there. We'll basically grind to about level 30 after we get that pulse gun. We don't get that for a little bit. Instead, we're heading back here to Sansia, where we did our level grinding. We're going to save our game here, and we're going to head to our next dungeon, the Aqueduct, which is to the north of Sansia here. And that's another dungeon we'll be backtracking to later on, but see you in the next episode there. Have a good one. Bye.